Last episode you saw us make our custom suspension for our tiny house trailer. It's an independent suspension with a single-sided swing arm design, and it uses airbags instead of springs so we can adjust the ride height. But since building it and seeing it in real life, I think there's some things that could be improved. So I've completely redesigned it. So let's go build version 2 and we'll see how they compare, because by the end of this episode we're getting this whole trailer frame done. Bolt alignment test. Yep. There you go.
That's version 1.
Yes. So there was a few things that I liked about it, a few things that I didn't.
Let me model it for you.
Oh, thank you, assistant. I really liked how it all came together. The tab and slot that I went on about a lot in the last episode worked really well, didn't it? It all came together super easy.
Very square.
The tube is scaffolding tube. That caused a lot of issues because I didn't realise how inconsistent they were. So we were going to have to change this for some very precise, very expensive cold rolled steel tube. The only reason why it was tube was because in the first design I did, this tube was actually part of the bushing. So it did pivot about this tube. But
like this.
yeah. And then as the design progressed to having the lugs up here, I just kept the tube because I thought I don't know. I don't really know why.
You just didn't think to take it out again.
No, it's just, you just kind of get stuck with an idea in your head. So that's also the area where people were concerned about the stresses and stuff. They didn't think this pipe was strong enough. Yeah, if we demonstrate it, if you pretend I'm the chassis and you're the wheel down this end, the concern is that it's going to want to pivot. Not pivot, but like be pulled in and out like that. If you imagine the wheels running this way. Some people were kind of concerned in the comments about the strength of that area. We have done the maths. It is actually strong enough. I don't know how nerdy to get. You got to look at the coefficient of the friction of the wheel against the tarmac. And anyway, my dad worked it all out. And 50mm tube is strong enough, but the tube kind of caused all kinds of other issues. So with the new design, we kept what we like, which is cutting it all out of sheet and then tab and slotting it all together. Here is the other one.
It's shorter.
The arm is shorter, so there's less leverage. The tube is replaced with solid box section. Yeah, the arm's a little bit wider where it needs to be to help with the twisting stresses. Yeah, there's none of these things that need lining up on the tube, you know?
Oh, because you built them all in.
The lugs are built in, so...
Let me model this
for you.
Oh,
thank you again, yes. These lugs are where the bushings go, so one bushing in here, one bushing in there. The bushings are bigger in this design, and these lugs that hold the bushings are built into the structure of the box. So they actually fill in the box in 4 places, which makes this whole section super stiff because it has ribs, 4 ribs all the way through it. It's super stiff. and super strong and way more accurate than anything else I can come up with making. So yeah, a little bit shorter, less stresses, much stronger, and it's lighter weight now as well. Shall we see then how this is going to be mounted to the chassis, because that's also a little bit different. These are the old lugs and big plate. That's all getting changed. But similar concept, but I didn't like how this plate and some of these bushings and stuff were going to be outside of the chassis. I know there's going to be storage boxes and stuff along the side of the chassis, but I wanted it all just to be tucked away, you know? So this is still going to go in there like that, but it's all the gubbins are going to be on the inside, protected away from the outside. Let's take this off and put the new bit on and see how it's all going to go together. Luckily I only tacked it together.
Perfect.
So this is the plate that holds the bushings. So we've got two bushings, one in here, one in here. And this little tab here is to line up with the bottom of the chassis rail. But it's much smaller again than the original one, because I realised I didn't actually need it to be that big. But we've still got multiple holes, so if we do want to, we can adjust the whole suspension or the whole height of the trailer up in increments of like 24 mil. So that's pretty cool, I think. So this is going to go in here like that, and we just have to get it in there straight. Yeah, I think we want to. Yeah, is that good? Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Do you reckon that's okay for now?
Yeah, so, there's going to be more support for it back here, isn't there?
Yes.
Because this is knees pointing that way. It's kind of warped a bit.
Okay, so that's where that's going to go. And then this will go in here somewhere. We can't really attach it because we haven't got the bushings yet. But it's going to go in there somewhere. Hang on, if I can put a bolt through, I might be able to just hang it in place. So that's roughly where it's going to go, like that. It's a much chunkier, stubbier arm, isn't it? And I think I like that.
Can we put a wheel on it?
Yeah.
It's very fun, isn't it?
Oh, this is tricky. It's a very tight tolerance.
Up.
Oh, you're in.
Yep. And then can you wiggle outwards, because you're kind of pushed into the.
Should we?
I wonder if I take the weight.
Should we put this on the axle and then put it on here? That might be easier.
Okay.
Let's do that. Take the whole thing, and if you flip the wheel on inside, now you can slot it down onto it.
What if it doesn't fit?
It will fit. It has to fit.
What if I need a mallet?
You can give it a little mallet.
Mallet. Oh.
Did you break it? Oh, that's a good fit, isn't it?
Eee. You're going to have to pick it up. So without the bushings in here taking up that space, it's all leaning a lot.
But yeah, you can see how it's all going to go. Very similar to the first one, just I think better. just want to jump in here and say another massive thank you to Xtool, who have sponsored a few videos by giving us this amazing piece of kit. This is called the Xtool Metal Fab, and it's a 1200 watt laser that can be used for CNC cutting like this, or for welding or metal cleaning like rust removal. It's totally changed what's possible for us to make by ourselves. Being able to cut out complex shapes really accurately within minutes instead of paying and waiting for someone else to do it has opened up so many possibilities for us. I'm not really sure what I'll do without it now, to be honest. I definitely don't think we could have made this suspension without it. If you're interested in checking one out, then there's more information in the description. Now that we've done 3 and we know what we're doing, why don't we walk you through how the suspension goes together?
Why don't we?
We start with
These ones. No, this one.
This one. So we start with taking the bushing lugs and pushing them through this plate. In.
Then we prepare our triangle.
This is a cross-bracing part that helps stiffen it all up. He goes through here, through there. So he actually goes all the way through the arm, this piece.
And then into this.
Yeah, so you've got, it really helps keep this arm nice and straight.
But first we have to finish building this part.
Okay. Which is this piece, right? Mm-hmm. And then we got these tabs go into these slots. Like this.
So they're very clanky.
Yeah. A little tappy tappy. Go.
Then that one goes in there.
So this is the trickiest one because we've got like 2 bits to line up. There's this back slot that lines up with that tab. Oh, I think I've done it.
Oh,
yeah, there we go. So now we've got to take this internals, I suppose, and then put the internals onto the bottom plate. And then the side piece.
Oh.
The only tricky bit of this is we've got this little
No, there's 2 tricky bits.
Oh yeah, we've got to do that first. We keep forgetting to do this end piece first. This goes in, and then we've got to line those bits up. So you can see how this diagonal brace part also goes through the entire arm and helps locate this other side. And that really helps keep everything square. And then the top goes on. Yeah. Nice. And there you go. And now we just clamp it all down to the table in a few places to keep it flat, because some of these pieces have kind of bowed from all the heat while they were laser cut.
And then we never made it ever again.
Oh, this is the last one.
Well, that's not a TIG weld.
It's not a TIG weld.
Whoa.
So the other day, Hayley was like, I really think we should get a new MIG. And I was like, I don't think we need one. We have a nice TIG and a laser welder. And she was like, no, I really think we should get a really powerful MIG machine. So she convinced me, and this is what we got. Do you think anyone's buying that?
No.
So this is it. It's a JASIC or JASIC, 250 amp, proper big boy welder. Look at the screen on it. Crazy.
And it really is so much more powerful than our other MIGs.
It welds so nice. It was a little expensive, but I don't mind investing in tools that are going to last a really long time. It's got a 5-year warranty. We wanted to get a MIG instead of laser welding the suspension up, just because of the profile of how it all goes together. So if I show you like this, do you see how everything has got this V in here? The laser, even when you set it to make the widest beam, it still can't really fill this gap very well. I do think the laser would have been able to do it well, but I just felt a bit more comfortable doing it all with the MIG, because it will fill in all the slots nicely, because I wouldn't really be able to do that with the laser very easily, fill in these, like plug weld these slots.
Here, if you wanted to give that a bit of extra support, that's perfect for the laser.
Yeah.
Because there's like no gap.
Yeah, I would laser weld these fillets, because one thing the laser's really good at is reducing the warpage. Because the heat that goes into it is so much less than MIG. Yeah, just different tool for a different job, I suppose.
And you're very pleased with it.
I'm very pleased with it. It's very nice. And to give another update, shop update.
Woo!
We have full 3-phase in the workshop. We can now have all kinds of tools. I'm looking at Hayley, she's like, we had 2 options really, put a new motor in it or get 3-phase. And luckily we have an electrician in the family.
Thank you, Scott.
So, yeah, thank you, Scott. He helped us out and installed the 3-phase today. So we've got a socket there and a few different breakers and stuff. So yeah, we're all sorted.
The collection can begin.
Yes. I think a big old pillar drill would be good.
I would like ventilation. A very strong and powerful filter system.
That is actually the next thing that's going in the workshop. A massive air extraction and dust extraction system, because we're constantly sweeping up, like just all the time. So we need that. And soon, well, in the next couple of months, we're going to be doing loads of fiberglass.
Yeah.
And fumes and sanding and the dust, like we can't be dealing with it, just letting it settle everywhere. So that's next to go in. But yeah.
You're gonna make something now?
Oh, so okay. I suppose so. I suppose we can start making the bushes. I've got to learn how to use a lathe.
What have you made?
Well, I've spent most of the morning playing with the lathe, and so far all I've made is a mess. Actually, no, I did make these things. I don't really know how I made them. So yeah, so far not that good. And I've also been, well no, it wasn't too bad. The polyurethane is just quite soft, so it's kind of hard to shape when you get to the edges. And yeah, sometimes it can like peel off in a funny way. I've also been trying to get this scaffolding pipe to the right size, but what I found is that you can get it in the chuck so it's spinning true, straight. I don't know what the terminology is.
Concentric?
Concentrically? But it'll be fine here, but then a couple of inches down the pipe, it's squished in a different way. And I think it's probably because they just have a tough life and
they get clamped.
Constantly getting clamped. So yeah, there's a lesson learned. If you want to use cheap metal to spin on a lathe to do stuff, I wouldn't recommend using scaffolding tube. But we've gone out and we've got some new tube.
I'll get it.
Oh, okay. Are you okay with that? You look to be struggling slightly.
Help.
We have a bunch of tubes. You have to rush out and get them. Are you okay?
There's more than we need. We just had to buy a full length. By the way, have you shown them like how these bushings work? Because all we've said is that there's like tube and then there's the plastic part. But I don't think you've explained the bushings.
Oh.
Maybe that would help.
Shall I do it in CAD?
Over to you, CAD Pete.
Okay, let's fill you guys in. So these cylindrical things in green, this is what I'm talking about when I'm going on about the bushings. These are essentially the hinge for the suspension. If we have a look at one, starting on the inside, we've got this metal tube. That's what the bolt goes through, that bolts the suspension arm using these orange lugs to the chassis. This metal tube gets pressed inside these red polyurethane bushings, but they will be able to rotate inside the bushing and they'll be all greased up as well. The red bushings get pressed and glued into this green outer metal pipe. The metal pipe gets welded to these green lugs, which are also welded to this big green plate, which is bolted to this yellow plate, which is welded to the chassis. And that's how it works. And we're back. Okay, so we've got our nice outer tube that the poly bits go in, and I can already tell it looks way better. It's really trying to focus on your face.
I'm not there.
You are, you're in the background. So there's the difference. Also like the galv, you're pulling focus from the subject. Also the galv coating on it, especially on the inside, makes it really rough and inconsistent. So trying to bore out the middle for the bushing to go in as well was a real pain, but the seam in it is tiny. The weld seam.
Yeah, that's going to be
so
very
this is
easy.
going to be much, much better. I can already tell. Awesome. Okay, let's learn to lathe. Alrighty. So this is the issue that we're kind of having with the polyurethane. If you have a look, if I turn it on, you ready? You can see how much this is going to go and that flap around like a fish. As you can imagine, that's not going to make very accurate circles, is it? But Hayley's got an idea on how to do this. So we're going to take this we're going to take this little bit, because the issue is like wasting loads of it, because you have to clamp an amount in the lathe and then you can't really use it. So if I was to make a piece and then cut it off, we've got a piece left over that you can't do anything with it.
And it ain't cheap.
No, it's not.
It's like 40 quid for how much? A foot?
Yeah. So we're going to put it in and make bushings that are like mirrored. So you make one from one end, flip it over, put it in, make the other one from the other end, and then chop it down the middle.
Put the hole through it and then chop it down.
Yeah, we have to put the hole through it. This into here. It's very fun using this thing. I really need one of those dial indicators to see if something's wonky. But for now, I'm just kind of looking at the gap between the cutter. And then when the gap is, I'm just going to tap it a little bit as it goes round. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I've just got to turn this down so that it fits inside here. Okay, here we go. Action. See, this is what keeps happening. Instead of cutting the top off, it just perfectly peels a layer back. I don't understand. Why are you doing that? Okay, what's the diameter of this now? 47.75. We've got a fair bit to go. 2 more mil. That's quite a lot.
Like his little snout.
Yeah, this is the issue. When you get to the end, instead of cutting, it just like lips over. Maybe I'm using the wrong type of bits. I'm sure someone's going to tell me what I'm doing wrong. First one, kind of done. Just have to drill a hole up the middle. This is just our first tester, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, it has to be because
you didn't make it the right length.
I didn't make it the right length. Hopefully that was in the middle. We're just going up to 16 mil for now so that we can put bolts through and just put it in place, and then later on we've got to cut it out to be bigger for the stainless steel internal tube that's going inside. God, it's making such a mess. What a mess.
Is it centered?
I hope so. So there we go. It's looking a little rough. I'm still figuring out how to do it. But we have our hole. Now I just need to cut this off. So I've got like a 5 mil shoulder. Switch my tool change around to this little one. This is a parting tool. It just cuts it. My first lathed part.
Lathed?
Yep.
We're lathing. It's chunky.
It is. And it should.
It wasn't particularly snug.
It's my first attempt.
Oh, is it supposed to be snug, or is it supposed to allow
I think
for
it
glue?
needs to be a bit more snug than that.
But it's getting glued in, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be glued in there, but it's starting to look like the CAD.
That's always fun.
It's been all day and all I've done is this. Oh no. I like it. Things are going better. Ta-da! Oh, that's an even better fit, that one. We don't want them to be like tolerance fit because you've got to leave a little bit of space for the glue, but it's quite a rough surface finish, so there's probably plenty of space for the glue to go in. Because yeah, these are getting glued in. Exciting.
I know you're excited inside, but it's been a really long day.
That's really nice.
It's hard. It's hard work.
It's very fun though. I'm really
Good.
enjoying making silly string on the lathe.
Oh yes, it's like a nice wig.
Oh, the bin's moved. I've already thought of all the tools and extras I want to get for it.
Excellent. I'm so pleased.
I've got a weird oil leak coming from somewhere. It's not good. Look, all this oil that's pooling up underneath.
Yeah, but I can't see anywhere dripping.
No, me neither, which is a little concerning. Maybe I just get a pump that pumps it from here and then just puts it back in. I just have a perpetual leak. So now, I just got to cut this to the right size, and then that's one done. This is how we've progressed throughout the day. Cool. Okay, I think it's going to be okay. Just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who bought a keyring, and to all of our Patreons and all the new Patrons that joined to get their free keyring. It really means a lot to us that you choose to support the channel. So thank you so much. And you should have received them by now. They're definitely all in the post. If you want to get one, then you can go to roadtooffgrid.com, or if you join our second tier Patreon, you'll get one for free. And that offer is still going and pretty much until we run out of stainless steel, I think. So there's still a few left. And yeah, thank you so much to everyone for all of your support. It really means a lot. Oh yeah. That's one bushing done. Oh, I actually have to take it apart. This hole isn't the right diameter yet because I haven't got the metal sleeves that are going inside here. So for now, I've just made a 16mm hole so we can still bolt everything in place and see what it's all going to be like. So this part should hopefully fit in here if I've done everything right. Oh yeah, that's a good fit. Wow. Hey, that looks good, doesn't it? Oh yeah.
It's snug.
That is a perfect fit. Wow. Bushings go in here. Like that. Those are going to get glued in place. So now the tricky bit's going to be squeezing these in this gap. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Persuasion.
These bolts are a bit too long as well, but there we go.
So just these would get welded.
Yeah.
Do you want to try moving the wheel up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks better.
There we go. But we'll weld those in place like really accurately, these bits, before we do this. This is just to see.
Yeah, because you
how it's
can't
all
weld
gonna
it with the bushings in.
Yeah. So yeah, we need to get some bolts that are the right length, and there's also that metal tube that goes inside the poly bushing. But hey, that's real good. So now you'll see how this all pivots. Oh, I can't do any more of them. So yeah, it all just needs tightening up and, you know, like welding all the supports in place. I'll show you how this plate is going to be supported. It's going to have one piece upright in there like that. Yeah. And then another piece probably be in there like that. But it'll be over a little bit. So this plate will get welded to these uprights and it'll all tie this whole corner in together. It's pretty cool. I can't believe how well that all went together. I really can't. Wow. Okay.
Good purchase.
What?
The lathe.
The lathe? Of course it was. I had no doubt. What do we have to do next then? We've got to put the frame together, don't we? Let's get these cross members the right size. Now that we know this distance, because the CAD's always just like a little bit off. You know, I want to see it in real life before we commit to cutting or changing anything dimensionally with the frame. Now I think, yeah, we're good. I think we can get the cross members to their final length or width and then put the whole frame together. We've officially decided the habitat is going to be 2.3 meters wide. I know it could be a bit wider, but I think that's a safe bet. We could go to like 2.4, but then, you know, if we put an awning and stuff on the side, maybe, then we're going to be approaching the legal limit. And I think 2.3 makes us like a bit more nimble, less likely to get stuck places. So overall habitat's going to be 2.3. Our chassis rail to the outside of the habitat, which will also be our side storage boxes, are going to be 420 mil. Mm-hmm. So we weren't far off with the first design. But yeah, we just got to trim our cross members just a little bit. Maybe, oh, I was about to say maybe my tacks were too good. You can stay there like that for now.
Oh,
Oh,
get off me.
out with the old cross member, in with the new cross member. How's it looking? How's the top looking?
The top looks good.
Okay, I'm coming in for a tack.
There's just a mild tack.
I will. Oh, that looks good. Oh yeah.
We can check that measurement again now.
It needed to be 4395.
Yeah.
It is 4395. Oh yeah. We're not getting it any more accurate than that.
Okay, we just need to do the bottom.
Okay. Okay, I'm committed. This is where it is.
No, you said it can be adjusted a little bit.
It's gonna get tacked. I think it's good. I don't think we get it any squarer or any more where it needs to be. I think it's good. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Are you happy?
It's perfect, it's okay.
It's up for you, it's perfect.
Should we double check this again one more time?
It's good.
Okay. What are you doing?
This is how big it's going to be. This is our
It's not.
space. Huh?
It's not. It's smaller, thank goodness.
Why?
Because it's going to be like 400 mil on each side. So nearly a metre wider than this, and then slide out.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying, like, I'm impressed how big it is, even without that. Like, it's going to take a while to walk from one end of the trailer to the other.
Yeah.
Like,
You still need that on as well.
I know. Whoa. It's all a bit real, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get the cross member attached on that side, and then our rails, our two chassis rails, will be locked together in the right place. And it might be a little tricky, I think, but we'll see.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Just do it.
Okay. Hop, hop. So we've got our suspension mounting plate on, and now you can see how it's going to be supported, because last episode we just kind of had it floating here and people were a bit like, how is that plate going to stay where it is? So this is how. We've got two uprights, one in the cross member and one kind of halfway between the cross member and the chassis rail. Yeah, it took a bit of clamping, didn't it?
Mm.
But we had to get this face over here flush with the side of the chassis rail, and we had to get it perpendicular, like very perpendicular, otherwise our wheels have the possibility of being all kinds of skew-if. So I'm very happy with that. Are you?
It's very square.
It's good. By all the tools we have to measure, it's square.
It looks very neat now, doesn't it?
It does.
It's really tying it all together.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've got space for one more angled one in the cross member now.
Yeah, I reckon we can fit one more of these in.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good, or we could come over here. I don't know what the best way of doing it is.
That looks better, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You could do that. Cool. A lot of small flies just came out of this tube. I think they were living in the trailer frame. They weren't going to have a very good life.
No.
Get out of here. Now we know how to do it, we can smash out the other side really quick. All right, let's do it. Oh. Ta-da!
It's not done yet.
Yeah, but it will with special effects.
Oh, joking.
Yeah. There you go. So, yeah, the first one took like 2 hours. This took like 20 minutes. So, we've got enough bushings to put one more axle on. And then we'll see if we can wheel the... Oh, no, we can't because we haven't...
There's no suspension.
There's no suspension mounts, like top mounts yet. So the trailer still can't take its own weight. But still, let's get the axles on, shall we? Okay. I don't think I could be happy with how these have gone. Like, I'm just amazed at how well it all fit together. At the beginning of the episode, did I say the whole trailer's frame's getting done?
Yes.
The neck is nowhere near going on. I might have been a bit optimistic. That's all we've got time for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.